choose to not be first?
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Oscar Bevis for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Tommy Welch, my man. Good to see you in your hometown. What a fucking day for it.
Welcome, mate. It's always sunny in Brighton.
Is it?
Always, mate, always.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Yeah, mate, good to see you. I've been a while. Just come to speak to yourself and the boys and your old man today. Gonna jump straight in. We've got quite a lot to talk about yourself and just some other, I guess, kind of boxing stories. How you been since your last fight? What you been up to other than training? Just kind of, keeping well.
I have been keeping well, mate. I took a little week off after that last outing I wasn't too happy with, and I just had to sort of go away and change the game plan a little bit. Got some new programs in place, and to be honest, yeah, I've been putting the work in now. So I'm just waiting for my next move, really.
Yeah, it was a bit of a ball ache that week for you in the sense that you thought you had a step-up opponent, and then that didn't happen. Then you thought you had another, and then it kind of all just got wiped. And you had a fight that you didn't want, and then, like you said, you put in a performance that you weren't too happy with. I guess it's something you want to kind of rid now, and that's gone, and we move on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dwell in the past ever. If you know this game, you'll know it's a very fickle game, and you get told one thing and another thing will happen. Dates change, people change. You just have to sort of learn to adapt and overcome, really. And I would say that's one thing I'm definitely doing in this game, for sure. I'm not trying to put too much, thinking into is it going to happen, is it not going to happen, because you become emotionally attached to it, and it can draw you out a little bit. And it did. I felt that in my last fight. I had a major stage to perform on. I thought I was going to have a better guy in front of me, and when I didn't, and I had the opponent I had, and no, I'm not taking anything away from him. He was a tough dude, but he wasn't giving me anything. When someone's in front of you and they're not giving you any sort of room to, any gaps in his defense, it's very hard to sort of just unload and get rid of. And I got a little bit too gun happy and was just trying to get out of there and trying to get him out of there and trying to put such a performance on. I ended up just sort of going a little bit crazy, and I should have set a few more traps with him and waited, and I didn't. I rushed my work, but that's done now, and yeah, I feel good now. I'm on to bigger and better things.
Would you say there's been a little bit of PTSD post-hand injury? Because I remember we spoke about the hand injury, and it wasn't a simple one. There was quite a lot of recovery, complex recovery as well. Was there still that kind of niggling feeling just around whether the hand would be okay in the fight?
I did, actually. I really, really did. Straight after, and probably like 2 fights into recovering, and it was always in my mind, like, if anyone has a major sort of operation, it's always going to be there hanging over you like a cloud, and that cloud's disappeared now. I'm putting people away, and my hand's back, so I feel good. I've got the confidence in the power of my right hand again, which is a beautiful feeling.
And there's definitely going to be some heavyweights who you want to stick it on, give it to, and make these fights for people. And there's such like a good young crop of people, not necessarily young heavyweights, but kind of around that 6-0, 7-0, up to 10, 11-0 mark. Have you got any guys in mind?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. I did want to. I really wanted that Steve Robinson fight, because I think it would have been an entertaining fight, but he's gone and fucked it up, innit? So I guess, yeah, that fight's done, and Frank Ignatius come in and took his head off, really. So yeah, I mean, I would like to mix it with Frank. I know Frank, and I think we'd make a good little dust up. So guys like him, I think these are the opponents I need to be looking at, So this level that are coming through, the new crop, the new prospects that are, next in line. Let's start mixing together. Let's start, fighting each other and start building, because I'm ready.
I know, obviously, like you said, Franklin did beat Steve, but I know there's a few people on Steve's side who have been quite vocal about the fight and vocal about actually your career and your journey to where you are now.
But you know, when you get under people's skin, like, it's just funny, right? Everyone's got a lot to say, but you know, I know if he was standing in front of me, he wouldn't be saying anything. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes you just have to let people do the talking, and you know, unfortunately, Steve got beat up, and well, not beat up, but he got beat, and I guess his little side chick's gonna have to sit there and be a little bit upset now. So it is what it is, really. Deal with it and move on, find a new one.
Well, look, fingers crossed we get Tommy Welch and Franklin Ignatius, because I tell you what, that is a cracking fight. And you're right what you say about the guys around that level need to fight each other, start fighting each other and putting these on for the fans. We'll come back to kind of the top tier of heavyweight stuff in a minute, but I know, obviously you know Chris well, and I want to talk about the weekend. Yeah, you must be buzzing for Chris, because he's kind of had it lauded over him since he was beat by Liam Smith in January, so I guess that must be the sweetest of revenge for Chris.
You know, I'm sure he's had a hard, what was it, 7-8 months since that last fight. Yeah, I know Chris very well, and I am proud. I'm proud to see that what he can do, he showed us. Do you know what I mean? Like, when he's on point, and I've seen him on point many times in the gym and in fights, you know, like his early fights, when he was turning up with the fire, he was demolishing people, and I feel like there's been a little bit of stop-start with his career, unfortunately, and he's had to deal with situations throughout, and he's overcome, you know, some stuff recently, and he's put it to bed, and he's done a masterful job at the weekend. And I'll be honest, I've said it before, like, if he wasn't to win a world title, he'd be the most talented fighter that never won a title. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's his calling now of getting one of these belts, and then, you know, then do whatever he has to do after that. But I mean, fantastic performance, and if he was there, you would understand that that was a boxing masterclass for sure.
Yeah, you talk about Chris and the potential of winning a world title. When you look at the names, say at middleweight, they're not the most appealing in terms of that big fight that's going to get a British audience, including the casual audience, kind of captivated the likes of Erislandy, Lara, them sort of people. It is going to be the Benns, your Kell Brooks, and them sort of fights that the ones Chris mentioned that people are going to want. What step would you like to see Chris take? What fight would you want to see him take next?
I mean, as the entertainment comes, the Conor Benn fight is probably the best, most entertaining fight out there. They're both.
Do you think it's the biggest fight you can make in Britain now? I feel like Fury Joshua's dragged on for so long. I feel like people are genuinely itching for Benn-Eubank.
The Fury AJ fight's been played with for so long. People are just like, if it happens, it happens. If it don't happen, then, you know, it is what it is. Like, but the Benn-Eubank, there's that, like, I know both the guys, and they're both great boys. It's just entertainment at its finest, you know. Like, they're both gonna bring the smoke, they're both gonna bring the fire. When they get in the ring, they're really gonna fight their hearts out, you know. Like, fucking hell, what more do you want? You know what I mean? Like, get it on. But in actual, like, career terms, I think he should chase down like a Charlo, or, you know, someone with a belt that's there just so he can put that on his mantelpiece for when his time's done. But on, like, entertainment value, money value and everything else, then obviously it's a no-brainer, go with Benn. And even if he fights Benn next, and then, you know, whatever happens after that, because it's at a different weight, do you know what I mean? He can always, you know, go back to fighting for belts. So, you know, whatever suits them.
Whatever Chris does, one thing you can be sure is that people are going to watch. So there you go. Just on a couple of heavyweight things, I know it was a few weeks ago now, or a couple of weeks ago, above or below the belt, that Dubois shot, whatever team you're on in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, you know, even if it was or it wasn't, like, he done himself no favours because he didn't finish his work, do you know what I mean? So, like, if he folded him over and it was on his belt, you know, why didn't he jump on him again after and I don't know, you know, he gave him a little bit too much room in my eyes to let Usyk do his stuff, and when he works, he works and he's incredible. But it is what it is, really. you know, he didn't get the decision. Pick yourself up, go again. You know, he's still young and he's still got loads to offer. So, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? You know, in terms of his career, like he's done good, even getting that chance of fighting for a world title, and he come close. Do you know what I mean? So like, you can only be proud. So yeah.
When you're a heavyweight who's at the age Daniel's at, with now quite a lot of experience behind him, I know it's not going to be the Usyk fight next for Daniel. I guess regardless of what happens with this appeal. But let's just say the Usyk fight was there for him next. Would it be a fight you would want him to take? Because I guess if he goes in with Usyk straight away, you could end up with kind of a similar result. Would it be worth Daniel going back to the drawing board and going perhaps to your fringe world level heavyweights before jumping into like a top test again?
I mean, I wouldn't want to see him in with like Fury or Deontay or any of them guys just like as a fan. Do you know what I mean? As like a boxing guy on the outside of not actually, you know, I would like to see him just carrying on really. You know, not letting this get to him at all. You know, he had
Fight soon.
Yeah, I would like to see him get back in the mix. You know, there's no reason why he doesn't have a nice 10 round. You know, get back fighting again, get back on his feet and build it again. And if that fight happens, it happens again. Like, cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. I don't know. It's always good to see a good heavyweight fighting anyway. So, yeah.
Talking heavyweight fights, we got an unexpected one in a few weeks' time. Just over a month, sorry, in Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. I know you've got a very different take to me on this.
I think, you know, like, someone like Fury who's been in the game for so long and he's put his whole life into this game. Like, you know, he's at that level now. But bearing in mind the boxing game is changing massively. You know, it's not just like great fighters in this game that are doing their stuff. It's like you're having these entertainers coming in and taking the crowds and taking the money, like changing the game massively. Like the game is literally going to, you know, in the future, you don't know how it's going to be. Is there going to be any amateurs left? Do you know what I mean? So you do have to sort of adapt and go with it a little bit, unfortunately, because otherwise we get left behind, you know. I feel like he's earned his stripes, and he's earned his stripes in the game, and if he wants to nick a few quid, then let him do that. I mean, it's going to be an entertaining fight, and I'll definitely be tuning in, because Ngannou can fight, and he's a big monster. So, you know, why not let him enjoy what he's got, you know, enjoy the fruits of his labour. I've got no reason in watching that, I don't think.
Yeah, I suppose it does make sense in terms of he's built himself to this level of stature that if he can put himself in a position to earn X amount of million, why not? So, and I guess you believe it's a step that many fighters at their peak could potentially start taking as well.
Well, they're all
So
gonna
he's kind of the trailblazer for this. I know there's been the crossovers, but a fighter currently at the top to do it, you think he's going to be the first of many?
I mean, it does ruin, obviously, like the mandatories and stuff like that, you know, and it's putting a massive hold on the next sort of breed coming through. So there is that argument, but I just feel, I don't know, listen, the guy's devoted everything to it, you know, and I don't know, man, like, I think he deserves to enjoy his time in there, and it's still going to make great entertainment. So, yeah, right or wrong, I don't know, but let him do his stuff, you know.
I guess right or wrong, we still watch, innit? So,
and hopefully, you know, if there's any spaces on the show and they want a young heavyweight on there, you know, I'm here, I'm ready to go, and I'll bring the fire for sure. and I've got a massive Saudi, you know, backing. So, come on, Riyadh, let's go.
You heard the man. But I guess kind of when this is all said and done, the Fury and Ngannou thing, then we look at Fury and Usyk, and I guess Fury targets the body. Or below the belt.
Yeah, below the belt, mate. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll be honest, Ngannou ain't gonna touch him. Like, he ain't gonna touch it. I'd fight Ngannou. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, we know these UFC guys' hands ain't great, so it's easy work for him. Jake Paul's knocking all these guys out, so like, what's Fury gonna do to them? Do you know what I mean? So, you know, yeah, it is what it is.
Wicked. Tom, thanks very much for giving me some of your time. Good to see you in your manner today. Just kind of a final word. I know you said Franklin Ignatius is a fight you want, potentially Steve Robinson, but just kind of a final word, I guess, to the complete crop of heavyweights out there that the hand's good, you're ready to go, and yeah, this is your time now.
yep, I'm ready to be put in the mix, you know, and if I can't get a heavyweight prospect, I'll take a promoter. No, I'm only joking.
Ben Shalom over 6. Come on.
Choose to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 17, 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,